Hey YouTube, Swbfstevo here. Um, yeah, I've been bored for a while and stuff, and I've been on YouTube and stuff, and I haven't noticed I haven't done any videos in 2 weeks. So, I decided to do a video on like early format meta and cards that you should like main deck and side deck. But first of all, I'm gonna go off about the main meta and stuff. Okay. Now there one deck that's gonna be seeing like is kind of new in a lot of play is gonna be the Chaos decks and stuff with Chaos Sorcerer at 2. They've got Chaos Sorcerer at 2. They're gonna be playing Black Salvo also with Black Rose at 3. A lot of Dad and stuff. That's going to be a really good deck this format, but you know it'll be good. Yeah, I'm just gonna keep it that it'll be good. Another good deck it's received a lot bigger boost is Quick Draw. They're gonna be the Quick Draw deck received a big boost with also Black Rose at 3. So it's going to be more of a debris kind of deck, and stuff. Yeah. Now another deck that we thought that, or there are actually 3 decks that we thought got murdered by the ban list and stuff. One of them being Infernities. I personally thought that this deck wasn't going to be like any good, but it's still good with the 3 barriers, so you're gonna have to watch out for it. Not for the OTKs, but they've got trip barriers still. It's still really good, and they've got a lot of cards that they can replace launchers for and stuff, like Stygian Street Patrol, I believe. That's gonna be really good still. So it got the OTKs gone, but it's still a viable deck to run. Another deck is X-Sabers. With Rescue Cat hit, everybody thought that X-Sabers would be like not a problem, but you know, with the YCS this weekend, X-Sabers getting first and second place. They're still going to be tier 1, and a very good deck, and a deck to compete with. Because I mean, after all, they've still got Cold Wave, triple Emmers, triple Boggart, triple Dark Soul, triple Full Troll, and all that, so it's going to be a really good deck. And with Boggarts and stuff, I mean, they don't need Rescue Cat anymore. And lastly, Blackwings. Whirlwind got hit to 1, so we thought that they were going to take a turn for the worst, but with the new release of Pot of Duality, their consistency ratings are going to go up, and it's also going to allow them to draw into their whirlwinds faster and more cards. So they're going to have a lot of hand control and stuff. So they're going to have 3 different draw power cards. They're going to have Allure, they're going to have cards for Black Feathers, and they're going to have Pot of Duality. So 1 Allure, like 3 Pot of Dualities, 2 to 3 cards for Black Feathers and stuff, so it'll be a really, really good deck. Plus they've still got Icarus attacks, they've still got their Bayous, so it's going to be a viable deck for sure. Yeah. Now, another deck that's going to be okay, maybe not tier 1, but it's still going to be good, is Machina. You know, it was good in the last few months, I guess, more like tier 1.5 in my point of view, but they're still going to be really, really good. Well, not amazingly good, but they're still going to be good. That can compete with. They've still got all their 1-for-1s, plus they've now got Monster Reborns and Dark Holes, mostly Dark Hole and stuff. But yeah, they're going to be a deck that you're going to want to watch out for and stuff. Plus Machinas there are a lot more different versions. So then, like, there's the Machina stuff with like heavy 1-for-1s. There's the OTK versions. There's the the other versions that this version is the one I hate. It's the Gear Town version, and it runs like Gear Town, magical hats, and that's just annoying because I mean you attack, go magical hats, choose 2 Gear Towns for their spells and traps, and then by the end of the battle phase they have 2 Ancient Gear Galaxy Dragons on the field. So it's just a pain and stuff, so yeah. And then the last deck is going to be Lightsworn. This topped the YCS also. I wasn't expecting it to be good whatsoever. But this past format, it wasn't good because it wasn't fast enough. But now that the format's more diverse and a little bit slower, Lightsworn have a better chance. And it's shown that, and yeah. And then of course there's Blackwing, or not Blackwings, GBs that are gonna be good, and then possibly Herald. I don't remember if there were any Herald tops of the YCS, but there's gonna be a lot of monster effects and a lot of spells and traps and stuff. So Herald's gonna be a lot of discarding and stuff, so they'll lose their hand a lot faster, and they're people are going to be able to attack over it a lot better. With X-Saber still out, Lightsworn now also, so yeah. Now, with me being a GB player, you know, I'm running Gladiator Beasts and stuff, so I'm going to give you some stuff that should be main decked. Well, I mean it shouldn't be, but most of these cards should be, except maybe 3 of them, 2 or 3, maybe most other players don't agree with. But one, now this is not a compulsory, this is a Solemn Warning, I don't have mine yet. Yeah, Solemn Warning is a broke card, so good, amazingly good. It'll probably go limited next format and stuff. It'll be up there with Solemn. But Solemn Warning is just amazingly good. It stops, you know, with it being a counter trap, only having to pay 2,000 and stuff, it can stop those huge synchros and all those other big plays, and it's amazing. So GB players should be running 2 or 3. I'd recommend 3 because I mean you'd be like, wow, that's a lot of life points, but plus you take damage from attacks. But if you think about it, you're not going to draw into all 3 plus Psalm, so you'll probably maybe draw into 2 or 1 in Solemn, okay? So don't worry about it. Second is War Chariot. Use 3. There's so many monster effects going around, and I mean, even if you don't main 3, side the 3rd, I mean, it is amazingly good. And also with War Chariot, Effect Veiler. GB players are even main decking 1. I'm not, because I don't have mine yet, but I'll be getting them. But yeah, Effect Veiler is amazingly good, especially after Cold Wave plays. So I mean, you can't do anything except monster effects after a Cold Wave. So Effect Veiler just stops it all dead in your tracks. And even if you go Cold Wave and Geyseris, then you can have the Effect Veiler in your hand and stop your opponent's Geyseris play while they're still under Cold Wave. Another card that wasn't used last format in GB decks, Trap Stun. We used Dust Tornado last format, but now with Heavy Band, there's going to be a lot more back row, so Dust Tornado is less viable. So yeah, use Trap Stun, it's really good. Prisma Glads, you know, nothing else to it. Use Prisma Glads. And black on Prisma Glads, Rhoda. You should probably main deck a Rhoda. I mean, if you're running Stratos, I really like Rhoda a lot better. Even though Stratos is a +1, typically, I just prefer the Rhoda because then your opponent doesn't know what's in your hand, and you can Rhoda exactly that turn and stuff, and not have to wait for a Stratos. I don't really like Stratos, so I'm not using it. Another card that I like main decking is there's going to be a lot of mirror matches. Enemy Controller. I like it main decked. It's been testing pretty well, but it's not necessary. Or, I mean, it's not needed, but for my testing, I'm going to keep with it, I think. That's really, really good. And then another card that I'm main decking, or at least thinking of main decking right now. I'm testing with it is Cyber Dragon. It's 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 pretty good. It's I'm only using one right now, and I'm side decking another one. But I just like it, as a beater and stuff. And surprising, I'm not exactly sure why I didn't like it, but it's been testing fine. So I'll probably keep the one, maybe add the second. Now for side deck, these are cards that, like, what was it? Probably 4 of these cards you need to side. 2 of these cards are my preference and stuff. One, Book of Eclipse. This card's great versus Lightsworn. I mean, at their end phase, they mill, you chain Book of Eclipse, their monsters flip into face down position, and then it's still the end phase, so they flip back up, and then they re-mill. So in other words, they're milling twice. There's like Dimensional Fissure versus them, there's Light Imprisoning Mirror. Both hurt Prisma. Okay, it'd be like, just don't use Prisma, side it out or whatever, but it's like, I kind of want to keep Prisma, so, why not just use Book of Eclipse? And, you only have to use it to stop a single attack, and that kind of thing, so, it's pretty much another enemy controller, maybe, and that kind of thing. Another card is Consecrated Lights. Blackwings, GBs, are one of their rival decks. That's why I'm mainly using it. It's also good versus Infernities. Cyber Dragon, Machina, Mirror Match, all that other stuff. Yeah, I'm cutting it close. Dimensional Fissure, Graveyard, Dependent decks, all that stuff. Noble Mana Crossout. There's going to be a lot of set Raikos, few hamsters. Noble Mana Crossout is a card very needed. And lastly, Thunder King. There's still going to be a lot of searches. Potted Dualities are out there in multiples. It stops Potted Dualities. Stops Herald decks. Still stops X-Savers. Stops Whirlwind. I'm trying to think what else there is. But it's still a great card. Maybe not in the main deck, but very neat in the side. So yeah. Well, I'm at 12:30, so I'm gonna, cutting it past. So yeah, that's what I got right now. Let me know if you want me to put anything else up, and remember to comment, rate, and subscribe. Peace, YouTube.